will never make it. You will not survive unless you decide now to do something with your life. Sloth, get out of your own way. Lost in your mind, the game you play. Sloth, get out of your own way. Get off of your ass and save the day. I know you're feeling I was once like you. Had to make a drastic change before my life was through. So far I've made it, so far I've survived. But you will never make it if you don't change your life. Sloth, get out of your own way. Lost in your mind, the game you play. Sloth, get out of your own way. Get off of your ass and save the day. I'm not here to judge you. That is not my place. I don't wanna see you fail, see you fall from grace. I just want you to understand what it really takes. Have faith in yourself. See what a difference it can make. Don't be a sloth. Get out of your own way. Lost in your mind, the game you play. Sloth, get out of your own way. Get off of your ass and save the day. Get off your ass and save the day. Get off your ass, save the day. Save the Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. I believe we're up to episode 5.
Yes, 5.
We're up to episode 5 of season 2 of Hillbilly Therapy. I am your wonderful and beautiful host, Mr. Jake Hill, and this is my less than prettier co-host, Mr. Dan Fraley. Say hi.
That's on my business card. Less pretty. That's what it says.
I'm actually who printed the business cards.
Yeah, he's an ass.
I'm an asshole. But welcome to another episode. Usually we like to have a little bit of a ramble before, but shit's gonna get weird this week.
Yeah. Oh, this week.
Yes.
This week it's gonna get weird. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Been normal up to this point, but yeah.
But most importantly, we do need to tell people, please send in your questions. And we do also have to announce something, Dan, that we've forgotten over the last few weeks. Because, well, usually you put me in charge of these things and I fucking forget. We have merch.
Yes,
we
we
actually
do.
have actual Hillbilly
Therapy merch. You can go. We'll have the link with this so that we can get you the link. You can have a nice shirt with the Hillbilly Therapy logo, and you can have it in green, black. Hell, maybe girls, you want to go pink? You can go pink.
Any color your heart desires.
And even better, ladies, because damn it, I love you. We even came up, specially designed by your Hillbilly therapist himself. A shirt made specially for you, ladies. Are you ready for this? A little bit of a drum roll, please, on this one. Just kidding. But, we've got one that on the front, it's going to say, I'm right. And on the back, it's going to say, he's wrong. And that is specifically for you, ladies. So please go on there. You can get it on a t-shirt. You can get a mug. Maybe you want to put it on the back of your computer so every single time your husband walks by, he remembers who's right and who's wrong. You can even get a pillow for your bed. The beautiful pillows that ladies love putting on their beds. You can have one that says, I'm right. And then he says some bitch and he flips it over and it's going to say he's wrong. That is made specifically for you, ladies. So please go to the site that we have linked with this video and please go and buy it.
Win arguments
and please send us pictures. I beg of you, please send us pictures, especially if you get the pillow, because I want to see the beautiful pillows that we know all men hate with our beautiful pillow right up front.
Win arguments in pillow form, thanks to Hillbilly Therapy.
You're welcome. But we definitely got to get to the questions so we can answer questions. Because like I said, this week, it's going to get fun.
Oh, boy.
And speaking of fights.
Oh, boy.
Are you ready to help a fight?
I'm ready as I'm going to get.
Because we have a gentleman that has sent us, because he needs our help.
Of course they do.
All right, it says, help me, Hillbilly Therapy. My wife asked me if her new outfit made her look fat. Huh? I said yes. Now she's mad. Help.
There's no helping you.
You're fucked.
Here's the thing. When you send in a question like this, and it's already done, you ain't looking for help. You're looking for an escape plan. And here's the thing. Women remember things that were said a decade ago. You don't get out of that. This is like the FBI. They have records, okay? The idea that you said it. Now, if you said she asked if she made her look fat and you had enough time to shoot us an email and ask us what you should say, and in this really Zach Morris type freezing of time, we had the chance to get back with you, and then you responded, that's a whole different matter.
The answer is no. The answer is always no.
But after the fact, after they ask you this very simple question, and you answer incorrectly, do not come to us and expect, there's no advice here. Here's the advice, fake your own death, okay? Go fake your own death, go to the desert, crash your car into a cactus, go to Mexico and restart your life. Because that's the only way away from this. There's no helping you now, okay? Because they don't forget.
Okay, now, here's the part where I'm going to give you a little bit of help, sir. Are you ready for this? The Hillbilly Therapist is here to help. Now, I'm gonna give you a second right here to grab your significant other, and you guys are both gonna stand there and listen to this. Are you ready? Now, I'm gonna talk here to the wife. Are you? I know you're staring and you're wondering where the hell I'm going to go with this. I'm going to need you to take your hand, lift it behind your husband's head, and smack him right in the back of the head. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that probably a little too hard, but he deserved it. Do you feel better? Good. Now, the fight is over. You're good. Pick him up off the floor, and you probably shouldn't have hit him with a baseball bat. I saved your hand. But problem is solved, and again, in the future, if she says, does this make me look anything? You say, honey, you are more beautiful than the day I met you. That is it. Nothing else. You stick to the script, you dumbass. Alrighty. Now, Dan, do you have Netflix?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I know this is going to sound like a random ad for Netflix, but this is the part where we're going to get weird.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Netflix.
Because they want to know our thoughts on a wonderful movie documentary that was put up on Netflix a couple months ago called Abducted in Plain Sight.
There it is.
And now, if you have not seen this golden what the fuck of a documentary, I advise you get some wine or something to drink, because you're in it for a fucking long haul, because I actually bet my wonderful, just absolutely adorable mother, who has never cursed, to watch Abducted in Plain Sight. I kid you not. 20 minutes into it. Okay, I'm 32 years old. I have never heard my mother use a quote-unquote French word. All right? And my mom looked at me and goes, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah, you made a woman that is almost 55 years old curse for the first time. That is the craziest. And if you haven't seen this thing before we talk about this, I'm going to ask you, pause this, go to Netflix and watch it, then come back.
We're steering
So you will understand why we're about to say the things that we're about to say.
So we're steering traffic to Netflix right now. Netflix making older women curse since forever. That should be their slogan. We can make your parents curse. Ding.
And if you're wondering, since we have continued to keep saying Netflix, if how much we're being paid by Netflix
nothing
to say this, not a goddamn thing.
This is an anti-commercial.
This is like, about to be.
This is what they like. If they paid you to say it, no, they're not paying us, and we're honestly probably doing them harm because we're telling you how horrible this show is.
Okay.
The people involved are horrible people.
So in the last episode, I got a little serious.
Yes, you did.
And talked about how we need to just start fucking killing pedophiles. And I believe this is the postal reason for why the fuck I think that.
Yeah, he started his presidential campaign, that show.
We did.
Yeah.
And I'd like to point out, I'd like to take the time to thank the 3 veterans that have donated money to the Kill the Pedophiles campaign.
He's already beaten Ted Cruz. That's
God damn it.
Yeah, he's already
just made me choke him a beer.
He's already up on Ted Cruz by 2 points, so doing good so far.
He just made me choke him a beer. Do you know what Bud Light is like when it comes out your nose?
I don't know that.
You don't? I forgot you don't.
Probably the same way as it goes in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But if you're a beer company and you would like me to drink your beer on air instead of the shitty Bud Light, instead of shitty Bud Light, please send a message to Hillbilly Therapy because I will gladly drink your beer and I'll even say your name.
So he's already ruled out Bud Light, just for the record.
Yeah.
So Bud Light, go to hell because it's not going to happen.
You ain't paid me shit.
But anyone else?
We have to actually get to the damn thing.
We
wanted to know what we thought about Abducted in Plain Sight, which is about a family back in the 70s.
70s, yeah.
Who let their neighbor take their daughter, and we're talking their daughter as 8 years old.
Kidnap their daughter and keep her for a while, and then
married her.
Hold on.
Married her,
quote unquote, America. Then didn't press charges.
No, they pressed charges.
No.
Then they took them away.
They took them away. You know why? Because turns out the father jacked the guy off in a truck.
Not kidding. We are not making this shit up. Do you know this is actually the point that my mom went, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Guy jacked the guy off in a truck.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. I don't care how, if it doesn't work on my prom date when I was 17, it should not work on a grown ass man.
Yes. And here's the thing about this.
By the way, Sherry, I still thank you for that.
He jerked off the dad. The dad jerked him off. The mother slept with him. He abducts the daughter. They get her back because they had a miscommunication. Get her back. She then...
That's a fucked up miscommunication.
That's what he said.
Oh, shit. So, that's what you said, horseback riding.
Yeah.
We didn't know that meant go to Mexico and get married.
I didn't know you meant fucking my daughter. I didn't know that.
I knew you meant fucking my daughter.
That was really lost in translation. I mean, he was only speaking English.
That seriously sounds like some southern way to be like, just so you know...
horseback riding.
Yeah, horseback riding sounds like I'm about to take your daughter and go fuck.
Yeah. So anyway, they come back, they press charges, they take the charges away because aforementioned dad jacking was what is going to be mentioned.
Hashtag dad jacking.
Yeah, there we go. Get that to fucking trend. Anyway... So then she gets older. He buys a amusement park.
I'm still laughing about dad jacking.
First of all, an amusement park owned by a pedophile. That's just That's just like
what?
They had an amusement park where he was working. He owned.
Who the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because they didn't press charges.
So then she decides. First of all, she's 14 years old. She decides she's going to go spend the summer with Senior Pedophile for the summer. And they take her. Listen, and here's the whole thing. These are the dumbest And I don't like to judge people. I may judge Kanye West, because the hell with Kanye West. But for most people, I don't judge random people. Not my say. But this guy kidnapped your daughter, then because your dad jerked him off, that you dropped the charges, and then you let her take a summer vacation with the fucker? Hell no. Hell no. These are the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life, and they're Mormons. Do you know how dumb you have to be a dumb Mormon? Mormons believe if you die and you're a really good person, you become a god of your own planet. And among that group of people, these people were dumber. They were dumber than the average Mormon. What does that tell you?
Oh, great. We're going to have Mormons.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Utah. That's another state I'm going to add to it. All right? Alabama, Mississippi, Utah, Michigan, Florida. The hell with Florida while we're at it, because come on. They give me enough reasons. Face eating and shit. No, fuck Utah. So yeah, among the Utah, among the Mormons who believe in...
Are we up to 7 states?
I believe so. I'm making my way through at a
I was over here trying to count, and I'm not smart enough to do that.
But among those dumb people that believe dumb shit, these guys with the dad jacking and sending your daughter to a pedophile summer camp, you are dumber than the average person. That's how bad these people... And they go, not only do they do it, this happened years ago, not only do they do it, not only does this fucking happen, right? Not only does this fucker finally get convicted for one of the 50,000 things he did, not only this, they agree to make a movie distributed on Netflix. So there are 70-year-old motherfuckers who then tell themselves, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to record and then release all the dumb shit I did with my own child, where I let her go to a pedophile summer camp and my husband jerked off a guy in a truck.
out of a striving and a frustration. And this is where I think language came from. I mean, it came from our desire to transcend our isolation and have some sort of connection with one another. And it had to be easy when it was just simple survival, like, water. We came up with a sound for that. Or saber-tooth tiger right behind you. We came up with a sound for that. But when it gets really interesting, I think, is when we use that same system of symbols to communicate all the abstract and intangible things that we're experiencing. frustration? Or what is anger or love? When I say love, the sound comes out of my mouth and it hits the other person's ear, travels through this Byzantine conduit in their brain, through their memories of love or lack of love. And they register what I'm saying and they say, yes, they understand. But how do I know they understand? Because words are inert. They're just symbols. They're dead, And so much of our experience is intangible. So much of what we perceive cannot be expressed. It's unspeakable. when we communicate with one another and we feel that we've connected and we think that we're understood, I think we have a feeling of almost spiritual communion. And that feeling might be transient, but I think it's what we live for.
Recording. Wow. Well, I'm Franklin. This is Scott. Of course, you know that. I wanted to talk about summer because it's kicking into season. It's the summertime. Everybody loves summer except for me. I'm the guy that's like all through winter just going, it's not that bad. It's just the fucking snow. That's the worst part because the temperature I can handle. I wanted to go through why summer is not my thing. I know you're kind of a summer guy though. You like the outdoorsy stuff and doing things.
A little bit of outdoorsy stuff. Yeah.
Not my thing. This is these are my reasons right here. I've written them out. That I hate summer. Lawnmower. You just hear them everywhere.
Just did that today.
Sun is present. Motorcycles everywhere. Loud. Why loud? Why loud? You can turn that shit down. I know what you're gonna say. It's so that everybody can hear me or whatever when I'm coming on my motorcycle, but fucking come on. It's too hot. Sweat sucks. Sunburns suck. Feral teens are just everywhere. Teenagers just everywhere. There's no school. Just hanging out. You know, I'm an old guy. I don't like it anymore. I don't like it. You guys can stop. I don't like it. How about some loud-ass country music for no fucking reason? You don't hear that in the wintertime. You don't hear loud-ass country music out of nowhere for no reason in the wintertime. It just doesn't happen. It's a summertime activity. The hillbillies come out.
Again, by here on Friday night.
And also, another thing I hate about summer, lawnmowers everywhere. You hear them constantly. I know I said it earlier, but lawnmowers.
Lawnmowers twice.
Yeah. Shirtless dudes? Why? You know, everybody's trying to free the nipple. I understand that. I'm trying to get shirts back on, fellas. You know?
Does not even count the ones that aren't really shirts.
Yeah. Oh, just you cut the side out.
Yeah.
Like, fucking come on, guys. Put a goddamn shirt on. Anyways. Allergies fuck me every year. Mosquitoes suck. Orb spiders. Have you seen those, ladies and gentlemen? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Orb spiders? They're all over my house. They just cover my house. I'm fine with a little jumping spider, garden spider, orb spiders. Fucking get all over ya. Fucking walk into their webs constantly. Also,
I got one on
yeah, you almost fucked with me. Because literally every time I walk out my door, I have to make sure there's no webs because they'll fucking I'll walk right into one and they'll have an orb spider on me.
Yeah. Talking about the tree frog falling on me.
Oh yeah, how did that fuck you up?
On my front door because it was like wet and sticky. So
yeah. I stepped on a bullfrog one time. It fucked my world up. I thought I stepped on a snake and I jumped up. Our friend Fish from Mississippi Bones, he was there for that one. But also lawnmowers, they're everywhere. I've mentioned it so many times because they are fucking everywhere. It's literally like the lawnmower massacre.
It's not even that bad out here.
In town, it's horrible. It was nice driving out in the country because like there was other smells than just grass. There was like earthy scents and like natural country smells, not kitten. Kitten in the summertime. Also, people inviting you to sit around a stank-ass campfire. I don't want to do that. Don't invite me to it. I know I'm an asshole.
Hey, I got some wood.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Some wood.
You know what? I have allergies so bad, and then everybody's like, we're going to have a campfire. You guys should come. They don't invite me anymore. People don't invite me to shit, but thank you for that. But that's a stupid thing that people always want to do, is sit around a fire like cavemans. You end up smelling like goddamn... Like you have been smoked. Like I'm now brisket. I've been sitting around a fire for 3 hours, inhaling it in. And finally, the motherfucking sun. I know I mentioned that one earlier too, but it's there and it fucks me up. I had
lawnmowers 3 times, sun twice.
Sun twice. Some of the other stuff you don't have to mention again because you don't hear loud ass country music all the time, but
no.
There's a lot of times. The other
day, my girlfriend handed me a Snickers bar. She said, "Hey, you're not you when you're hungry." And I tell her I'm not hungry. I just always look like Steve Buscemi. Just kind of disappointed by that, I think. I love my girlfriend, man. She's a really cool lady. She's a teacher, which is cool. Yeah. That was her, by the way. She teaches Russian literature because there's some people who, when they get to college, they're not depressed yet. So, yeah. She wants to make sure they all have the same opportunities, It's pretty nice. I was driving around earlier and listening to my favorite album of all time, which, as many of you might agree, is gotta be Shaq Diesel by Shaquille O'Neal. It's a really good one. It's a great album, man. Some good tracks on there. There's one called Giggin' On 'Em, which is up there. That's one where he gigs on people. That's kind of self-explanatory, that one. There's another one called I Hate to Brag, But Damn I'm Good. I'll tell you right now, one of those things is a lie. He's really good. And he likes to talk about it. But I think my favorite track on that album has got to be one called Where You At. Because that is a song where Shaq's friends can't find him anywhere. He goes, "Hey Shaq, where are you at?" "I'm over here." "Yo Shaq, where are you at?" "Yo, I'm over here." "Yo Shaq, where are you at?" "I'm over here." Why can't you find him? You know that dude is 7'1"? 7'1"! That is a whole foot taller than people need to be, I think. I don't know. I'm 6 foot, I can reach all the top shelves. That's enough for me.
This person wanted to know, okay, our thoughts on the lack of mental health awareness in this country. And because mental health has really become an issue.
Absolutely.
Especially when it refers to gun control.
Right.
And everything else. And I do think we've had a lack of mental health for the simple fact that our parents grew up in a society where you just ignored that shit.
Yes.
He's a little yippity kind of things. And I mean, you didn't have the awareness of the different things like ADD.
Right.
He just doesn't fucking listen,
right.
kind of thing. Then you have depression's been on the rise because our fucking world's insane. And like anxiety. People used to just say, oh, they're stressed, not realizing that anxiety is a major problem. So I do believe there's been, and for the simple fact that I suffer from high anxiety. That is actually one of the reasons why I started this podcast, was because it became therapy for me. Hillbilly therapy is not only therapy for the people that are listening, it's also therapy for me because it gives me the chance to be able to release the stress that I have. So as much as helping you guys laugh, when we do this podcast, it's much a help to me because of my anxiety issues and depression issues and everything. So I do believe that we do have a lack of mental health awareness, but I think it's getting better. But I think as a society, we really need to learn how to deal with people that have it. I think, especially with depression. Depression has been a major problem that even when people just go, oh, well, you need antidepressants. Problem fucking solved. You got a pill? Problem fucking solved. And that ain't fucking doing it. That's why we also have a high rate of suicide. And I'll say this. If you are listening to this podcast right now and you have ever had any of those thoughts, please reach out to a hotline. I know it's weird when I get serious on this podcast, but that is definitely something that, it's getting even worse when you're having 8 and 9-year-olds committing suicide because life's getting fucking rough, and that's fucking insane to me. But I do think mental health it's getting better, but we're a long fucking way away.
And while he does hillbilly therapy, A, to help you, and B, to sort of get over his own stresses and things like that, for the record, I do this podcast so I can yell at strangers. The point is, and it's
also therapy for him.
It helps me.
You guys don't get to see the smile that comes across his face out while he's screaming these crazy things.
Because otherwise, if I'm yelling about Kanye West in any other context, I'm just a lunatic walking down the street muttering to myself, and no one needs that. Here's the thing: mental illness has existed since the beginning of time. It's just every generation has a different name for it. PTSD used to be called shell shock. That's what it was called. It was called shell shock. Now we know it's PTSD. It is a condition we can treat and handle and deal with.
Here's the thing. Did you know that just people that have been at war aren't the only people that can suffer?
PTSD can be any traumatic event.
I actually, when I first got divorced, I had a doctor that thought I may have suffered from PTSD just because of the stress. So believe me, PTSD, and what's funny is I heard someone say to me when I was talking about it, I said, isn't that just for people that went through war? Isn't that kind of messed up to judge, and say you have PTSD when you didn't even go to war?
Yeah.
And there is wars that are fought with guns. And stuff like that. And there is a war of the brain. And I think that's become the biggest problem is we want to play who should be more stressed than the others.
Everyone has their issues. Everyone has something. And again, I'm going to get serious here, and I get a little ranty at times, all the time. But the reality is, yes, everyone's going through something. Like I said, things were different. Back in the day, my grandmother, and I'll share this story publicly, I've never been described with this. My grandmother was dyslexic. So my grandmother went 84 years of her life, didn't know how to read. And because back when she was in school, dyslexia wasn't a thing. So all they saw was some kid who didn't know how to read, and they just sort of went on with it. So this is a woman who never learned to read because she was never taught to read because they didn't know it was dyslexia till she was well into her 70s. So the idea of these things exist. People say, well, what about depression? And I always hear this new argument, oh, well, this didn't exist when I was a kid. Yes, it did. Depression existed in the 50s. You just didn't say it.
I do believe the 1920s were called the Great Depression.
The Great Depression.
But we named it the Great Depression. People go, well, it didn't exist when I was a kid. Yeah. It was a great one.
It's the same people that, it's the same people talk about, well, autism. Well, there weren't autism. Yes, there was. We just have a better idea of what it is and how to diagnose it now. The idea that it never went away. This stuff's always existed. We're just at a point where we acknowledge it.
It's not like polio.
Right. Polio went away. But it's, you know why? For the record, for anyone following along? Because of vaccines! Anyway, But yeah, that's what I'm saying. These things exist. Mental illness, and it is everyone. And if you think, oh, they're too young, or they're not. And I've started
That's how crazy this world has gotten.
Yeah.
When you've got 8 and 9-year-olds that are dealing with
Yeah.
shit. Because the thing about it is, with technology, when we were younger and, we were bullied, at least I know I was bullied in school until
absolutely.
I socked him in the throat.
Well, that's how it works.
But that was a different time. But, I'd be able to leave school and go home. I didn't have to deal with the asshole.
Right.
Now, because of social media, that asshole can follow me fucking everywhere.
Yeah, mental illness is now, like I said, the idea, there's this old idea that they're too young. They're not. And like I said, I said this, I was born in 1984, and I didn't have readily access to the internet until I was 14, 15 years old. But I'll tell you this right now, I was 11 years old, my first real breakdown. The first time I went to a hospital, and I was diagnosed with a mental disorder. I was 11 years old. And most people look at an 11-year-old, they don't think, no, 11-year-olds can get it, 9-year-olds can get it, 10-year-olds, it's just because they're a kid.
You're never too young to not be able to deal with shit.
And
even the younger you are, the harder it is to just say, mom, dad, teacher, guidance counselor,
Right.
fuck, your best friend, just tell them shit ain't fucking right.
Right.
Like, something ain't right with the way I feel, and talk to somebody.
And on the inverse part of that, because there is a whole generation of this, my father and actually the generation beneath him, so my father's a little older, there's this idea that they're tougher. And that like their generation, it affects you too. And there's nothing wrong with you. If you got something wrong with you, it's the same thing. If you have a heart condition, you go to a doctor to get your heart worked on. If you have a mental condition, you go to a doctor to get your mental health. It doesn't make you any weaker, and it doesn't hurt you to go get something fixed. If you're depressed, do something about it. And I don't mean, and for the record, we're talking to these self-help assholes. I don't mean take a walk in the woods and take some echinacea. I'm talking about if you need medication to function, take medication to function. Don't get drugged out, but take what you need to get just to level out. There's nothing wrong with that.
I shared a thing on this page about, I believe, a month ago that talked about that mental health issues are one of the biggest killers of men.
Absolutely.
Because there's more men that aren't able to deal with shit because of like what Dan said.
Mm-hmm.
We had, our fathers going, be a man, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
And things like that. But guess what? Those are the ones that are dropping dead of heart attacks at 40 years old because have so much goddamn stress.
And I might make a couple enemies here. And if you're listening, again, this is a comedy podcast. We usually screw around. But if there's someone listening who like, oh, I like the rest of it, they get to this point and it pisses them off, I don't give a shit. There is enough of this, what they call toxic masculinity. There's enough of this male bravado bullshit that will not allow somebody, whether it's themselves or accept of other people, if they need help, to go get the help. Or because they're not a man. They're not. Fuck that. Anyone who says that, if anyone looks at you and says, oh, you need this or you need to go to a doctor, but you know what to do? Tell them to go fuck off. Because what keeps you alive, what keeps you going, fuck anyone else who says otherwise. I don't care if they're your best friend. I don't care if they're your parents. If they're trying to stop you from being happy, the hell with them. Do what makes you happy and do what you need to do to see another day so you can listen to more podcasts from Hillbilly Therapy.
That was a beautiful...
I turned that into a commercial.
Wow, that was fucking beautiful.
Yes.
But, sadly, this is the end of another episode of Hillbilly Therapy. I really hope, honestly, we have helped you. We have talked about some weird things, talked about our new merch. Once again, go down there and click. But again, seriously, if you guys are out there and you all need help, call somebody, okay? Call an actual fucking therapist.
Yes, a real one.
But most importantly, keep listening to us. But because like he said, we'll always be here to listen, because if you guys ain't around, then ain't nobody listening to us. But I'll say that all you guys, I love you, but you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here. You guys have a great night.
This is a hard love. This is a stone cold tragedy. This is a long road, but it's the only road for me. If I don't know how it's supposed to go, how do I get there? Pages keep changing on a book, no one wrote. And I'm so scared. My mind's congested with these questions. Is this how it's supposed to be? 'Cause it's a hard love. This is a stone cold tragedy. This is a long road, but it's the only road for me. If love is the only emotion we need, why can't I sleep? Wheels are turning and money is burning, and I'm feeling weak. My mind's congested with these questions. Is this how it's supposed to be? All of this time, all this investment. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And I'm so scared. 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 it's the only road for me.
I don't think this is gonna sound bad to a lot of people, but I don't think that Louis Armstrong was so great because I realized that I can do his thing now. I did it the other day. I was singing along to one of his songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's not very good. It's probably not very good, but I'm gonna do it anyways. If I can conjure it. Some Louis Armstrong. Okay.
There we go.
No, I put pressure on myself. I set this whole thing up. It's gonna suck. What's one of his songs? What was I singing? I wish I could remember what I was singing. I see skies are blue, red rivers green. What is the song? I don't know the words.
It's, What a Wonderful World.
What a wonderful world. Like, that's not hard.
It's easy, yeah.
Why is he a fucking legend? Red rubber juice. Oh, he was doing this. This is the shit he was doing. And I'm like, that's fucking easy.
Do you ever watch him do his routine now? He just get this like.
Oh yeah.
You know.
What a wonderful world.
Oh my god. Oh, it's Junebug season.
Colors of the rainbow.
Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. It's Junebug season here.
So pretty in the sky.
Can you see?
Keep your
this
windows closed, everybody.
So on the
He's
face
so pretty. I'm gonna eat this
people
shit.
going
I'm gonna eat
bad.
this shit right here on the internet.
I see fried chicken. Oh yeah.
But I have a topic here by Hank
Foley.
Foley. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sucks. It's true. It's just a flat out statement.
This is true that the Ringo Starr is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for his solo career,
Is that right?
but the Doobie Brothers are not.
Yeah, the Doobie Brothers are not.
There's
Who
a lot
else?
of bands that are not.
Well, the
Bands that existed in the 90s, 80s, late 80s, early 90s,
They're in
I
there.
understand why they're not in it because it's not been a long enough time.
why is
But,
Madonna in there?
They
Why
are.
is Madonna?
Oh,
in
yeah.
there? Hello.
Yeah.
Why
Hi.
is Red Hot Chili Peppers in there? I mean,
I mean, they've been around
They belong in there
for a
more
long
than
time.
Well, I know,
than NWA.
those guys.
They belong
Okay.
I
in
think it's the fact that they,
I like rap.
they
I
don't
like
really
a lot
have
of rap.
a separate.
Well,
they're
shit.
like shit. This just has to be the music hall of
Well,
fame.
why not? Yeah, why
Because
not
we
have
can't
some
just do
fucking
rock and
other
roll.
some ska bands in
Yeah.
there or whatever? Or I guess that would fall into rock and roll though. Why not have some jazz musicians?
No
in
shit.
there?
What
yeah,
the?
Enya.
what
You
the
know,
fuck
Enya
did,
in the Rock and Roll Hall of
yeah.
Fame next?
Well, Public Enemy's in there too. I mean, they were in there. I can't remember what year they got
That's
in.
fucking doobies.
There's just
Long train ride.
there's a lot of problems with
Blackwater.
Of course,
Rush got in there around the same time.
I think it's kind of hard to have a Hall of Fame of a like something that's it's a perspective.
Right.
Like, I don't personally think a lot of the bands that are in there should be in there because I don't fucking like them. If I was gonna make my own Hall of Fame, it'd be completely different than what it is. I mean, if I was gonna put rock and roll bands, like Pantera would be in there in my Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And you know who wouldn't be? Fucking Little Richard, because I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about him. I don't care. I don't care that he started.
Fuck him.
He did not start anything that I like. I don't think.
No.
Woo! I don't think I don't
Chuck
like
Berry.
that. Chuck Berry,
No, that's a different
innovator of guitar playing, in many ways. In many ways.
He died not too long ago too.
He
Yeah.
he
90
invented
years old.
rock and roll.
He also
And
invented a
Elvis
really
stole it from
sneaky
him.
way to take video of people in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. I love that that's a thing.
You are listening to ZTO Radio.